You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Big Brother After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Big Brother After Show.
Thanks for tuning in to AFTERBUZZ TV, everybody. Bing is for doing, and today we're doing Big Brother Season 14 in a big way. I'm your host, Julie Chin. No, I'm just kidding. I'm your host, Ryan Allen Carrillo, and I'm joined by my lovely Big Brother alum co-host, Porsche Briggs. Say hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. And we're also joined by a super Big Brother fan, Robert Lucero. Say hi, Robert.
Hi, everybody.
Rachel's not with us this week. Unfortunately, she is filming for her wedding special on WE or WE. How do you say it?
I believe it's the WE Network.
The WE Network. So
Yes.
We wish her well, and she'll be here next week.
Yes.
All
she
right.
will.
So let's just talk about what a crazy week this has been for Big Brother.
Such a crazy week. So much going on.
I mean, so much going on, and like the press is going crazy. We're going to talk about that. And I also want to tease later that in a few minutes we're going to have, who's calling in?
Janelle.
Janelle, hello.
Come on. How could you forget?
Well, I didn't write it down. Janelle is calling in, so we can't wait to talk about Mike Boogie and all the shenanigans that, she's been through. She's an all-star. We love her.
Absolutely.
So we look forward to her call. In the meantime, so let's go back to Sunday. So
Okay.
it's, first of all, Boogie is gone. Ian is the HOH. And, they sort of show a behind the scenes of like what happened during the live show and all the scrambling that went on. And for me as a viewer, it was extremely interesting because you just see on the live show, they go into the room. Okay, I need your decision. Julie's doing this. Like it's very, very organized and not like shenanigans.
Absolutely. Double evictions go by so quickly, and they're really, really organized, really well put together. And it was kind of a repeat of some of the competitions we had last season during our double eviction. So it wasn't really that difficult for them.
What's funny, even we just watched the East Coast feed, and I was saying, like, how much time do they set up? It's crazy. And I said, do they actually tell you when you go to vote how quickly to walk? Because sometimes they're a leisurely stroll, and sometimes they're literally, as the door is ending, they're like running into the room.
Everything. I mean, they let you know everything. You see nobody, but what they do is there's intercom systems throughout the entire house. So basically, if someone needs to tell you something like, okay, cut your speech shorter and walk a little bit faster and go wait in the DR to vote, and then, we'll come to you. They have everything pre-planned out, and it's all the house talking.
Which
it's
is
all
just
intercoms.
It's like God talking to you, basically.
It is,
That's why they have the last week we found out they have the Bible and whatever religious book there, which is crazy. But as a player who went really far in the game, like how stressful is that? I'm thinking of my speech just in case they're telling me to do this. I have to run here. I'm doing a challenge right now. I'm out of breath. Like it seems like all this stuff is designed to stress you out and make all the bad behavior, quote unquote, come out.
I mean, well, that stuff's designed for the TV show.
Of course.
So, I mean, that's
drama,
but that's what they need. I mean, the basic format for every veto meeting, for, the HOH meetings, the veto noms, like all of that stuff is, pre-planned, preset, so they have something to show 3 times a week. The rest of the stuff, the live feeds and the footage that they get in between, that's the spontaneous stuff that goes on in the house. The fights or the carrots yelling and all that kind of stuff.
Which I think that's what made this the opening of Sunday's episode so great, because Frank is completely losing it. He feels completely alone in the house, extremely vocal, and Ian is like completely stressed out, biting his nails. I bet you he's never been in an argument sort of like that, maybe in his life.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely not. But then again, I mean, Sunday, if we're rewinding back to Sunday, right now, Frank is hating on Dan, and he thinks Ian's just being a puppet. He doesn't see Ian as, a threat or as included in an alliance against him. I mean, he didn't know about the quack pack at all, let's be honest.
Right.
On Sunday, Ian was like still just sitting pretty, quiet as a mouse, and Frank was still okay with him.
They did a good job at like keeping it secret. So
So then everything just comes out basically on that episode. And I love when Dan, he sort of said the best line when he said, I would hook you up with my sister. I mean, it's just like, really?
Gosh.
It's just like out of control. But like, I just love that they're literally running around. And granted, you're up for $500,000 and, you know, and you don't want to be humiliated on TV and everything else. But like, let's just break down. It's just like, in my opinion, it's a board game that's televised. It's a game. Like, you can't really get that furious. But
I mean, it's a game, but then again, when you're stuck in that house and the voices, you know, you don't realize, but here in the real world, we get to talk to everybody. But when you're in that house and you have, you know, 14, 16 voices and that's all you hear, it's like one person's voice goes away every week and then that's what you're left with. So these people become like your lifeline.
Especially if Danielle's the voice.
Oh my gosh. How horrible was that today? All right. Yeah, we do have to comment on that. Her voice today during the live show was just...
it was a lot.
I mean, it's very high squeaky. High squeaky. What was I going to ask you? The other thing about that thing too, like Britt was, you know, during all the shenanigans, like it was one person at a time. It's like almost like a closet size, and like one person comes in, the next person, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. You need to leave. But like someone could be
Revolving
like,
door.
Someone literally could be like, I'm not leaving. You know, F you, I'm staying here. Like, it just seems like it's like they're still respectful, but you know they're just talking smack as soon as you shut the door.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing, especially in the Big Brother house. You'd rather be talking to someone behind their back than to their face, you know, because then it's all out in the open and then you argue with people and you don't ever want to have to argue with someone and then half hour later you have to go to bed and sleep in a bed next to them or share a bed with them, you know? So you kind of like pick and choose your battles.
Well, it's funny too. Britt sort of started picking up on this early on and she, you know, right after that, she's like, I have to keep my options open. I might have to adjust my game. And, you know, she obviously didn't know what was coming, but I mean, you definitely...
She played paranoid for a while.
Right. I mean, the thing is, you know, Frank is, I don't know how tall he is, but he seems like a bigger guy. I mean, he's like obviously built. And when a guy is running around screaming through the house, I don't care if you're like Ian or, you know, some of the small, that's like intimidating. Like a big guy screaming at you. I mean,
in a carrot suit.
Yeah. I mean, it just gets...
Yeah, he's really, really scary in that carrot
But
suit.
I'm saying you could, like, it was very, very intense in that house. Like, he was like out of control. Like I told you, like Ian was like, you know, ticking. Like he was like clicking his head back and forth.
I know, poor Ian. He's probably never been in any confrontations like the week he's had with Frank.
Probably ever, right?
Ever.
Goodness.
He's getting all kinds of firsts in the Big Brother house. First experiences with girls. First, you know.
First kiss.
First fights.
First fights, you
He
know.
needs to work on his dating skills, though.
Yeah, hitting puberty all in one summer.
Bless him. How old is he, do you think?
You know, it didn't say his age. It does say his age. He has to be 21. You have to be 21 to apply for Big Brother.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you have to be 21 to apply for Big Brother Canada, too. Which, little snippet, I kind of saw a commercial during the live show today that
hello.
I was all up in on for Big Brother Canada.
Can we just point out, so if you haven't seen the live show yet, but there's a full Porsche commercial of her like living, getting completely out of control. And she was just, it was funny. It was great, right?
It was super cute. You know, I'm thinking that maybe they're doing it because next week I'm going to be in Winnipeg. I'm going to go to Canada actually for an appearance with Janelle and Evil Dick. So we're going to be out there. So maybe they caught wind of it. So.
Maybe. Well, that's fantastic. You make sure you have to tweet that out.
Absolutely.
Also, if any of you are watching, you want to ask us any questions or, you know, want to talk to Porsche because, you know, she's so luscious. Give us a call, 424-256-1739. 29 or 39?
Oh, you just
29.
Told me.
Now I'm all messed up. Like, 29. Thank you.
29.
1729.
See?
So then we go on to the HOH. And it's called Pull Some Strings. And you said that you played a game similar to this.
We did, actually. Yeah, my season. It was like a thing with a snake, and you had to get the ball to the end of the snake, and it was like a little puzzle game. So I actually won that HOH, and it was in the same pattern. It was the HOH after the double eviction. So it's a competition that they can set up. You know, it's a skill competition.
Right.
Also, you know, like a carnival game, just jumbo sized.
Right.
And
so it's not so much based on your strength at all. So there's no one that really has an
No.
advantage. It's whoever just has steady hands, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. They give it to you for like a few hours the night before, generally, so you kind of get a feel for the game.
Wait. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, a little teaser there.
What's
huh?
a little?
sneak peek,
Did you just say something? What?
Yes.
Say that again.
Sometimes I don't know if I'm allowed to say this,
You're probably
but
not.
now you guys know. So they do give you a little like preview of the skill game before, and you get like a couple hours to practice on it, just so people like don't mess up completely. And then they take it away from you before bed and reset it up. So you kind of have an idea. And Frank obviously practiced his skill.
Right. Well, it's so funny. Like, if you didn't actually see it, the best way to describe it is sort of like Plinko from The Price is Right, but with ropes.
I love it.
And going the opposite direction,
way, yeah.
right?
Totally.
So that was funny. But like, so Frank, he ends up coming up first, and he destroys the competition.
He does. But before we get into that,
Exactly.
I think we have a lovely lady on the phone.
We do. Janelle, are you there with us?
I'm here. Hey, guys.
Janelle, welcome
Hey,
to
Janelle.
AfterBuzz TV. We're so happy that you called in. How are things going?
Things are going great. Really fabulous in Minnesota. And it was a great night.
It was. So you saw, I guess, Brittany got out tonight. How do you feel about them apples?
I would have preferred to see Danielle go, honestly, but Brittany leaving is fine.
Yep. All right. Now, really, Janelle, we know, okay, tonight's episode, we wanted to talk to you about that, and it's Porsche, obviously. Hey.
I know.
So, but really, we're going to give you a little bit of airtime. Do you want to talk about this Boogie situation? We didn't get to talk to you last week when he got evicted on the double eviction. How excited are you?
I totally expected him to be evicted. I did not think he would make it very far in the game because the target on the coaches were so huge this year. So I didn't expect him to make it very far, which was what I said. And I was, I guess excited to see his eviction because he was so excited to leave me that horrible goodbye message.
I know.
And seeing Ashley walk out right after him, it's just karma.
Right.
Yep. And then Will after that.
Will, Boogie, Ashley, now Brittany.
Amazing.
Oh, God. Thank you, BB. Thanks, BB.
Thank you, BB.
Hey, so I have a question for you. It's the word is on the street the day you were evicted from the household. Like, you just looked so amazing. Like, you were like perfect outfit, perfect hair. You were gorgeous. I mean, everyone was screaming. We were all screaming at the TV. Look how gorgeous she is. Like, how were you prepared to leave that night? Like, where was your mindset? Were you like, if I'm leaving, I'm looking flawless?
Of course. I obviously shopped for an eviction dress beforehand, and I knew I was leaving. So I put my best dress on, I put my pearls on, and I said, let's do this, bitches.
Well, it worked out. It worked it out. We love that. So how much of a decision was it for you to actually go back on Big Brother again? You've played the game before very well, and you're like, an all-star. How much of a decision was it for you to come back as a coach? And did you think that the game was going to twist and you were actually going to be thrown into it?
Well, first off, yes, it was a huge decision to decide to go back this year. Obviously, I'm married and I have a new baby, so that was weighing on my mind. But, I made the decision to do it. Of course, when they asked me about it and they told me what the twist was, I figured, you know what? Obviously, this is for protection for 4 weeks. I'm going back into the game.
Right. Well,
of course I knew.
Well, then question for you then too. Boogie didn't vote to go in, so I know you have strong opinions on him. Why do you think he didn't want to go in?
I know from personal, just phone calls and whatnot, that he knew he was going to the game. That's just all talk.
It's all just a sham. It's all a sham.
Make a show.
He knew someone would push the button, so he didn't have to.
Oh yeah, he's just making a show because he called me beforehand, and you know how it is, Porsche.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of speculation that goes on behind the scenes and pre-scenes and everything of Big Brother.
Right,
so.
Building up your brand and everything else. Do you have another question?
So Janelle, I was wondering, did you see Will's parodies yet?
Yeah, it was actually really funny. I was drinking orange juice and I spit it all up on my floor. It was so funny.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it was really funny. I loved his Joe impersonation.
The best.
Actually, they were all good. He even did me good, except for he's still being a little bitch about me, and that's fine.
Just a little bit. I know. I wasn't gonna bring that part up, but yeah, totally. He's a little bitter.
He's still being bitter that I pressed the reset button. Really? Okay.
Nothing else to be mad about. But his Joe was so good.
His Joe was good. His Brittany was awesome. His Danielle's eyebrows were totally on par. I thought everything was great.
Very cool. Very cool.
I even liked the outfit that he wore to do me, because that was exactly what I wore.
Yeah.
If you have no idea what you're talking about at home, Will did a parody on YouTube, basically his YouTube channel, basically making fun of everybody in the house.
Yeah.
And apparently it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's awesome.
Hey, Janelle, so I have another question for you, too. So, Big Brother's sort of unique compared to, like, the other competition reality shows. Like, you do, like, say, Survivor or Amazing Race and those other shows. Like, after you're kicked off or whatever it is, the show, you're still, like, held captive. You're not allowed to talk to anybody. Like, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. Is it strange for you to, like, be so involved in the game and such, like, a strong player and be under such pressure, and then all of a sudden you leave and now you can watch them on TV and you were, like, just there?
It is kind of weird for me because I've made Final 3 both times I've played before. So it's kind of weird watching on TV, but I kind of like it because, I already kind of knew what was going to go on. And it's just so great that I told Brittany everything that was going to happen is happening.
And watching it play out.
She didn't listen to me. Yeah, so basically I'm just loving it because what is happening is what I said is going to happen, and no one fucking listened to me. So, payback's a bitch.
Right, so you're there having a glass of wine just laughing at the TV.
Well, Brittany gets sent to sequester.
Well, we want to thank you so much for calling into our show, and we appreciate you joining us. And do you think you would do it again? Or is this it?
I don't know. Only if Porsche is there. I don't ever want to do Big Brother again because this season it sucks. I had no allies. It was really hard because I didn't have an alliance. It was just like my team was kind of forced upon me and they hated me. So I'd love to play Big Brother again, but I'd obviously want to play with people that actually enjoy my company.
So what's next for you now that the season's done? And are you rooting for anybody in the house?
I'm actually rooting for Frank, which surprises a lot of people because I hated him so much in the house. And I may not like him so much in the game, and that's just because I was competing against him. But now that I'm outside of the game and I'm not competing against him anymore, I will root for him because I wanted him out because he was a threat to me.
Yeah,
he's a pretty likable guy when you watch
he's great
him.
At this game, so he's someone that I would root for. If I was in the house, I would be after him.
Well, there you go.
Cool.
You're hearing it first. I'm glad that, time heals all wounds.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Janelle, next week, obviously, I kind of already mentioned it, that we're going to be in Winnipeg. But do you want to tell everyone your Twitter name so people can start following you, and maybe your Mary Kay name as well?
Yes. Start following me at Janelle Pierzina. That's my Twitter name. And my Mary Kay website is www.marykay.com/JanelleDeSantos. If you want to order product or talk about skincare and makeup.
We could use some, a gay man loves some skincare products, so we're ready for that.
And you did look amazing, so I'm sure people will definitely log on and buy your products.
Exactly. And maybe you and Porsche should do the Amazing Race together. That would be, amazing.
Oh my God, I would love it because she'd be so amazing at that.
You guys would yell at everybody and you'd be completely out of control.
We would kill it. We would definitely have someone show us around town.
You guys would have rides everywhere.
Exactly.
Well, again, thank you so much for calling our show. And we were so happy and honored to speak to you. And we wish you the best. And if you guys are up in Canada, go check them out.
Yeah. See you next week, Janie.
We will.
Thanks, Boo.
Bye.
Thanks for having me on.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
I love her.
See, I told you you would.
I never said I wasn't going to like her.
Well, you didn't get to talk to her yet, but I did mention you would.
All right. Well, we're very happy that she called. So where were we? We were talking about Plinko.
The Plinko game.
And
We made it to Frank winning that
Right.
HOH.
Frank
Janelle's
won-
favorite.
Right. And just crazy. He went from literally last to first.
Exactly what I had to do on the same game last year.
I think that was an advantage though, because the more, like he said on the show, the more
Yep.
you played the game, the better you got at it. So
Right.
Yep, the more practice you have.
Right.
That's exactly what
He
works.
says that quite a bit, which I think is really smart. So then it's no surprise, Frank wins. So then Britney starts scrambling like crazy. Literally like
course.
Britney Spears taking the umbrella to the car. Like she's like having a nervous breakdown. And then Pandora's box appears, which you have some experience with Pandora's box.
I do. I
And
picked Pandora's
you
box.
opened it.
So it's a catch-22.
It cost me half $500,000.
It's a catch-22, right? Because you get some quick money or whatever's in it, but then there's also a risk that goes with it. And in this particular one, it was a chance to win 10 grand, but the risk is there's going to be a second veto.
And and Frank must have known, because in the ball machine there was the clear box with the question. Like, he knew that has something to do with something.
Right.
And for him to just agree after seeing the screen and seeing all the small Pandora's boxes, I'm really surprised that he wound up picking it. I really am.
So would you have picked it?
See, I always said I wasn't going to pick it, and then I had the opportunity, and I did. Just because when you do go in the Big Brother house and you're stuck there for so long, your brain kind of forgets what you're supposed to do in the game.
Right.
And you're like, okay, I have this opportunity. Not every HOH gets a Pandora's box. Only some people get a Pandora's box.
Right.
And generally it's for a reason. So
Right. Well, it's so funny. Even if you win the show, nobody hardly ever plays a perfect game. Half the game is how well you recover from making a mistake. And so, he ends up winning a little bit over $3,000. And, the second veto, it starts raining balls outside. And there's basically coins in the balls so they could try to fish out the second veto. And, one thing that I thought was really weird, well, Dan's being extremely aggressive. Obviously, he's just trying to save himself at this point.
Obviously.
And but Ian did something weird. He got the coins and then he pretended he's like, I'm going to pretend I didn't get it because it wasn't in the right spot still. And so I just thought that was really weird. And then he went back and played and won. So I
don't understand Ian much. You know what? I like the guy and I root for him, but I don't really understand his gameplay and his, wanting to be loyal sometimes and then not, and then wanting to be evil and then crying, and he's really confusing me now.
Right, that was a little strange. But anyway, so Ian ends up getting it.
He does. Wins that secret veto.
Right, so then it ends up turning into a whole nother thing. And then it goes down basically to the block, and it ends up being Dan and Danielle.
Yep.
So that kind of wraps up Sunday.
Yep.
And guys, we just want to tell you really quick with iTunes that we appreciate being number one.
Really
once again,
Thank you.
I think we deserve a round of applause for being number one, people.
Yeah.
I love the sound effects
a
here.
round of applause to get it.
No, but we really appreciate your comments on iTunes and giving us the 5 stars. So, guys, please tell your friends. Please continue with your 5 stars and giving us comments. We love reading your comments. You guys are all very, very supportive. If you ask us a question, we're happy to read it on the air. Can I not speak today?
Get it out.
We'll be happy to read it on the air, and we really appreciate all your support. And our show's doing really, really well, and it's always great to come to work and we're number one.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, we live.
And we have fun doing it.
We do, and we look amazing. So guys,
we love having you guys here. Okay, we're not gloating so much. We wouldn't be here, number one without you guys.
Yeah, we sound like an award show. We wouldn't be here without you and God.
Well, actually, Dan could say that this week, but we'll get into that when we get on.
All right, so we're going to move on to Wednesday. And just
Dan's funeral.
Yeah. Wednesday was a big thing. Because the Republican National Convention sort of cut off the show a little bit. So it's just another reason, not to vote for Romney. Just kidding. Just kidding. So anyways, it started with a veto, and I guarantee you didn't do this veto challenge. It was draw something.
That's pretty amazing. Let's just say we're getting really interactive on Big Brother.
Right. Well, how much do you guys play on your phones?
Yeah, I have it on.
Used to be obsessed with it.
Yeah, I was too.
I know that Rob, he plays Colton from Survivor all the time.
Yeah.
From last season. Yeah. Him and Colton go back and forth with draw something, but it's fun. So basically, draw something it's drawing that sort of appears, and they actually use fans that drew the pictures too, and you have to sort of guess the words basically.
Yeah. If any of those fans, by the way, who got picked to be on CBS's Big Brother show, they want to call in, you guys can totally call in.
Yeah.
Brag about your awesome picture.
We want to hear about it. And so basically for the veto competition, it was Dan, Danielle, Frank, Shane, Britt, and Jen.
And Jen.
Yeah.
Remember her?
Yeah. Which, where's she been?
Waiting to win this veto, apparently.
Out of nowhere.
She came out big this week.
Yeah. But you know what? She has a lot of tattoos, so I'm really not surprised that she was good at this.
Right.
Draw something. It's like
Autistic,
she practiced on her arms.
I didn't even think about that. Well, it's so funny. I heard that she did all of her own tattoos on her legs. I'm kidding.
Really?
One thing that I thought we cannot mention is Ian. Did you see Ian's outfit as the host of the show? He was
The
wearing
dress
that
on the
weird beret. Like he looked really. I don't know. I was not digging his
See,
outfit.
you paid attention to the fashion.
I'm always the fashion. Janelle's fashion, Boogie's fashion. Now we're on to Ian. Ian, we could lose the beret.
So speaking of fashion, okay, whoever drew the carrot, you guys were awesome.
That was a
'Cause
good one.
Watching Frank the Carrot Top walk around in a carrot suit all week was the highlight.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That person
Pretty
should. That
amazing.
person for sure gets props. So,
Yeah.
which is so funny. So, like, basically, once they would win something, they had the choice of what they were going to do as punishment, basically.
Yes.
And Frank, he had to dip himself in avocado.
And take a chum bath.
Jen had to burn her clothes, which
That was pretty funny. Her favorite outfit.
yeah, her favorite outfit burned.
All right, now we'll take a poll. How many fans out there wish that were me in my pink tracksuit that I had to burn?
Yeah, because she doesn't wear underwear, people.
Guaranteed.
So there you go.
No, that's not why. You're bad.
So then Britt, she had to get shackled to Danielle, and they showed a little bit on it. That was hysterical. So like they go to the bathroom, they're outside the door, and it's so funny that the clip is just so short, but it is literally 24 hours. I mean, that's a long time to be shackled to someone.
It is. It is.
They didn't show where they slept or anything, which who knows how that went.
On the live feeds.
One of the things that Frank had to do, he has to sit out of HOH the following week, which
Not just the following week.
Correct.
The next 2 times that he's eligible to compete.
Right.
So, being the fact that he's already HOH, he already has to sit out next week. So he has
Right.
to sit out 3 HOHs.
which that was out of all of them, that
That's
was
a
a
lot.
big decision to be like
That was huge.
That's a big
right.
deal.
So that could come back. I mean,
That
we'll
was huge.
see.
And then for the fact that he whispers summer and then it doesn't even count.
Right. I think it was Ocean though, wasn't it?
No,
It was summer.
Oh, I don't know
it
what
was
it was.
summer.
Summer.
He whispered the right answer, but because he cheated, he totally he had
eliminated,
to he got eliminated.
Right, so
Didn't
now-
get to win HOH and still had to take all the punishments. That wasn't fair.
Including the carrot.
Including the carrot and the chum bath for 24 hours.
Which how crazy was that? Like in
That
the
on
middle,
live-
that was hysterical.
on live feeds, like let me just tell you that happened to him over a dozen times. Like the poor guy, like literally would like get in there for like 45 minutes of sleep and was like chum bath again.
And then was he taking a shower afterwards or diving into the
I think
pool?
so.
I mean, what a nightmare.
Yeah.
That seemed gross.
And it's a cold shower outside too. People don't think it's warm. It's cold.
It's not cute. So another interesting thing was Dan. He was sentenced to 24 hours in like a discotheque kind of room, which that seemed like a nightmare. Didn't that seem like
Did
a
not look
nightmare?
fun.
Awful.
Did not like
It
fun.
did not look fun.
Be exhausted
all.
the next day.
I mean, come on. You guys like disco though, don't you?
I mean,
not that much.
have you ever fallen asleep in a club before? I don't know if it's even possible. Do you know what I mean?
Actually,
But that's
well,
where
no comment.
that's where his brilliant plan was born, though.
Yeah.
It was. It
In that
was.
crazy
so
room.
That's exactly what happened. So let's talk about that. So he goes into that room and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, some people are thinking this is a nightmare because people are going to be able to plan behind my back, which that's what
Okay.
I would think too. And he literally went in there and was like, came up with his master
Yeah.
scheme.
You see, crazy room, you got like a crazy scheme going on. And how did that work for him? I really have no idea.
I mean,
don't
it's sort
either.
of crazy.
How he
And,
pulled
no
that
idea.
out.
and just to back up a quick second, Jen ends up winning the power of veto, which,
Yes.
I mean, hello.
So 2 powers of veto this week. Jen and Ian got them.
They did.
Boom.
And then so Dan comes out of the house, and basically all the housemates, they go and they bang on the door. They're all in agreement. He comes out so somber, so serious. Everyone's like, what's going on? So the energy is a little weird already. And then he addresses everyone and decides to plan his own funeral, his big brother funeral.
Yes.
And he goes around the room. He definitely could be an actor. He was very, very emotional, and he got every single person there literally to cry. They all were crying.
He did. Well, he may not be an actor, but he's definitely a writer. I mean,
Right.
he does have his book out and stuff. So, the guy does know what he's talking about, and he can talk to people. I mean, he inspires athletes, as a coach and all that stuff. So
Right.
I'm sure he can definitely,
He must
sway
have.
the moods.
He definitely pulled on the heartstrings of everybody, but
It's
he literally
crazy.
went around the room and told everyone what they all meant to them and said very, very like endearing, nice things,
very
even to
sweet.
Frank, because Frank is
Yep.
his biggest enemy, and so he even convinced Carrot Top, and then he went to Danielle,
His
Ruined
alliance
her.
in the house.
right, which everyone knows they're already close,
tore her apart.
and basically, what did he say? Says you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dead to me, and says, you know
Dead
what
to
you
me in this
did.
game.
Yeah, and like I never want to speak to you again. And she literally looked like she had a nervous breakdown.
She was ruined.
Oh, she really did.
Like,
she's
devastated.
like, I would have given up the game for you.
Like literally traumatized. And then she did what I would do in that situation. What do you need? Are you okay? No, I just need Shane. We're gonna go lay down together. I mean, she will like find Shane in 2 seconds to
She's
bring
like,
him
that's
into
all
that
I
bed.
need is to cuddle.
Right. Just cuddle with me, Shane, and all will feel better. I mean, I don't even know what to say about
What
that.
a kook.
So what did you what did you think about Dan's move? I mean, it's the Twitter was out of control after that happened across the country, and there's been tons of press about that too.
Yeah,
In fact, I should have
still-
brought it up when we were talking to Janelle, but like apparently the New York Post said that he's the best player of all time. Entertainment Weekly compared him to George Clooney Ocean's 11.
Okay, I heard that. Now, wow.
Go ahead
Like,
and speak
whoa.
speak about that.
I mean, people, like, it's a game show. Like, things have been played before, but this was, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed. Like, I didn't see it coming. I think it could have gone either way. He either could have roped Danielle in or not.
Right.
You know, I think he was just trying to throw her under real quick. Like, I thought, you know, he was going for it, like, just for a ploy for him to stay in the house. You know, I didn't really see it as this whole grand elaborate thing when he, you know, went off the deep end with his funeral.
Right.
But when he recovered from it and then, you know, was like, oh, it was all part of my master plan, like, then, okay, then it was revealed as, like, a great Big Brother move.
Right.
And
but also, sorry, he also told Danielle at one point that he wanted her reaction to be real.
Yeah,
I mean, which it
he
was
couldn't
because
tell her.
she
Yeah.
felt she felt like so picked on and bullied. He wanted the whole rest of the house to feel sorry for her and vote.
Yeah.
They wouldn't vote for her. Basically, that was sort of what he said. Which you could either take that as true or that, you know, it's
But
hard
then-
to tell.
But that's the thing. It's like she's not that great of an actress. So when she's sitting there saying, okay, I have no idea what I did to Dan that made him mad at me.
That should have been a
like,
red flag.
That should have been a red flag to everyone in the house.
Right.
Like, oh, okay. So she has no idea what's going on right now. Like,
Right.
if she didn't do anything wrong and she's a sweet, innocent, you know, girl,
Right.
then, you know, what is he talking about? Like, is he playing us over? And no one in the house seems to be able to tell that, you know, Dan has been, you know, putting fluff over his words
Right.
and just he's really good.
Speaking of fluff, one thing that I thought was complete fluff, and we'll hopefully we'll get to interview Dan and ask him this, but he told Jen, "You're the first lesbian I've ever met." How is that possible?
I don't know.
That was he just trying to like pull more heartstrings on that too? Because that just seemed crazy to me.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he doesn't seem like that sheltered.
Have you met him?
I have not met him. No,
Oh,
but
I forgot you're not a lesbian.
No. But I know Memphis. So maybe we'll have Memphis on the show and we'll have him do some recaps about Dan. You
Yeah,
know?
that's a great idea.
knows
We should
a
have
little
him.
bit more
We should have him call in because Memphis finished. Set was his runner up basically.
Yes.
So he knows him pretty well. In fact, Memphis was mentioned on the episode tonight.
Yes.
What did he say basically? I don't even remember.
I don't know, probably just how, you know, Memphis and him went to the end, and then
Right.
he, you know,
Was he just
also in
comparing
Wednesday's
that-
episode, he was going, you know, him and Frank and you know, him and Memphis. So
He was comparing
I
it the
kinda
same way.
I can kind of see that too. Dan's a really smooth talker. Memphis, you know, is definitely a strong physical guy, and I think I can kind of see the similarities between Memphis and Frank.
Right. They're
So I
both
see-
kind of redheads.
No, Memphis isn't redhead.
Doesn't Memphis?
Really?
He seems a little reddish to me, doesn't he?
I don't know Memphis.
You never met him?
I don't
We'll,
think so.
we'll Google
Oh,
a picture for
okay.
you.
All right. Well, hi Memphis if you're watching. So then it goes into Dan. Basically, so then Dan goes upstairs and talks to Frank, and he literally spills, as I say, the complete tea.
He spills the tea.
Everything, right?
Everything.
He-
Quack
It's the
pack.
end
Here
of
we
the
go.
quack
Here it
pack, yeah.
is.
Literally, he knows that he is backed in the corner and just which we see a
Let's
lot where
go.
it all just comes out
Yeah.
and it actually worked for him this time and he
Yes.
is able to convince Frank to basically, you know,
to take a final 2 deal with him,
Right.
to, you know, help convince Jen to get him off the block, to save him this week. I mean, he does what is near impossible in Big Brother, and that is like saving yourself when you have 1 foot out the door.
Right.
Like, nobody in the house wanted Dan to stay. They all were like, okay, yeah, he pulls, you know, the wool over our eyes. He's such a great game player. He's such a smooth talker. And then they totally get like swindled by him, like
right.
completely.
I mean, these people don't remember, like, hello, he's won before. He knows
Like,
how to
he
play this.
knows what
he's
he's
a coach.
doing.
Get him out. Like,
It's
it's just
amazing.
crazy.
It's
But he
amazing.
convinces them and like in a very convincing way. And
Yep.
even Jen, you know, Frank then convinces Jen to use the power veto
Yep.
to save him. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is pretty priceless, especially when Dan tells Danielle, like, by the way, I just did that to save you too. You know, her face is just like, oh, Dan,
Right.
you're so, you know, like, you're so silly.
On the other hand, though, Frank didn't really have another option. Like, he kind of had to go with Dan because he didn't have anybody else in the house.
That's
so,
true.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
So that's a good point. So then when Dan takes Danielle into the room, I mean, she's still, they haven't even spoken. And they sit down on the couch and he just like says, he whispers, I had to do it, blah, 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 blah. Like her face went through 100 different emotions. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, her voice stayed at one pitch, but her face went through 100 different emotions.
I think her voice got a little higher.
It did. It got a little higher. Well, you know, it's so funny in that room because they're trying to keep so quiet. It's just, you know, shenanigans. So then it gets up to the block again and who Jen is going to save. And Jen does.
Well, actually, Ian goes first because he won his veto
Correct.
first. So then he decides that he's not going to use it.
Correct.
So showing his allegiance to not Dan and not Danielle.
Right. So
Quack pack where? What?
Quack Pack who? And then Jen comes up and she uses the power veto to save Dan. And you saw Britt and
Everyone was just
Shocked.
their face.
Yeah.
Right, because they knew what was coming up next. And, and Frank did not,
that another lash. He's like, Brittany, pop a squat.
Right.
Get back up there.
And basically he was calling out Ian, said, you've been playing both sides and I can't get you out, but I'm getting the next best thing out, which is your biggest ally in this game. And she's up on the block and she knows she's gone.
Yeah. She doesn't know she's gone until, what was it, Tuesday night on the live feeds.
Go ahead and talk about that.
Yes. So Brittany gets a whole bottle of wine to herself.
Which describe how you get liquor on the Big Brother house, because I had that question
in
too.
moderation and like extreme moderation. Okay, like it is not like a bar. It is not like anything you would expect. You literally get either one bottle of wine or you get like 6 beers.
For the whole house.
For the whole house. This night they got a double liquor delivery. All of you guys on Twitter, yeah. I saw that from you and I decided to tune in to watch Brittany get wasty-faced. And she did. So her and Ian wind up going night swimming. And Ian winds up spilling the tea, as you like to say. And he tells her straight up, he's like, yo, I'm sorry. I wanted you to stay. Like, I was rooting for you. But, like, yeah, you're leaving. Like, that's just it's what's going on. Like, you're going home, Brittany. Sorry to let you know. That's why everyone gave you a bottle of wine.
What was her reaction?
I think she passed out by midnight. I'm pretty sure she was a little upset. But, she didn't, she didn't have any elaborate funeral or anything like that. She just kind of figured it was coming and,
right. At that point, she's probably like, there's really nothing more. What else am I going to do?
What else are you going to do? You're put up on the block and against your ally in the house, Danielle, and everyone already thinks she's nuts, so I don't know why you would align with her. I still am not getting that, but, poor Brittany.
Well, she tried. She did go to Frank later, right, and talk to him.
She did.
Tried one little pitch, yeah.
Cried a little bit.
She's really good at showing those tears. She definitely wears her emotions on her sleeve, and she just, the waterworks. She's could be a great actress. She could cry on command.
Yeah, probably could.
So then we'll move on to the live. Go ahead.
Live episode. Oh yeah, as we're in the live episode now, because I was just gonna get to the brigade being like a third of this live episode.
Yeah, let's just talk about that really quick. So in the middle of the episode, they showed the brigade from season 12. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Season 12.
From Brittany's season.
Brittany's season, and the only one I know from that's Hayden, because I love Hayden.
Love Hayden.
And they had a full Brit conversation, which it was a little strange. But what was your thoughts on that?
Okay, so my thought on it was they brought some good-looking guys to the season.
Right.
They may have been repeats and veterans as well, but that's what they do. But I thought it was cool that all of them showed up. I mean, they actually toasted to her at the end.
Correct.
Their little segments.
Because
so
take us back to what happened with the brigade, because didn't they sort of screw her over too?
So yeah, basically the brigade drugged Brittany along for her vote, and then they were like obviously going to cut her because it was 4 guys, like working together. So
it's definitely boys against girls.
It's definitely boys against girls, but they were funny, and the fact that they probably knew she was getting evicted this week, and they still showed up to like poke fun at her pageant picture from her season. That was pretty hilarious. Like funny, watching the guy dress up. And then of course they commented on her being high maintenance, which we had our little, our special Boogie recap that me and Ryan did was like last week. And even Boogie, we asked him like, who is the most high maintenance people to live with in the house? And like right away, Brittany. He was like, Brittany.
He said she is the messiest person and just like she's just really hard to live with.
Absolutely. So we got to give her hubby some props I
love the little clip of her where she was like, it's hot, it's cold, it's like
the complaining. Yeah.
Right. She definitely is like a little diva-ish.
A little bit.
But then I love like the brigade's sort of take on, Shane and his fashion. He's wearing pink or whatever. But it's so funny. I didn't know till tonight. I just thought he was wearing pink. I didn't know he was wearing a girl's shirt. I mean, that's just a whole nother level.
I didn't realize it was a girl's shirt either.
He said it. Like you don't have to say that part of it. Then they're just going to make fun of you even more. Pink shirt's bad enough, and then be like, pink it's a girl's pink shirt.
But it's a square neck. I didn't know that the square neck thing meant that you were gay until you told me.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew? Square cut means you're gay.
See?
So there you go.
See, Shane, we know. You gave the signals.
Yeah. This is like the first Big Brother.
I have translators. I know what's up.
This is the first Big Brother season ever where there's 3 gays.
There you go.
Girl and a few others. So going back to Thursday.
Okay. So Thursday,
Ian
today's
is
episode.
Completely freaking out.
Completely.
Like, to the point of where even like Britt even said later, like he needs to like tone it down a little bit. It's like a little bit too much. Like he is like, I don't know what he thinks he's gonna do. I mean, he's like 100 pounds wet.
Well, he got called out by Frank. So being in the house, you never want to be like called toe to toe to someone, you know,
Right.
and Frank, yeah, he jokes about it. You know, he's like, I went toe to toe in my carrot costume, you know,
Right.
And it's funny, but you know, for Ian, he's like, you know, his back's up against the wall, and he is losing his alliance, and he's not a strong physical competitor. And, you know, you do get the sense of when it's going to be an endurance HOH or this and that, you know. So Ian's not going to win this.
Did you say endurance?
Endurance.
No, that's funny.
Endurance.
Endurance. It's a Porsche dictionary.
Yes, I was slaying Porsche Ease.
So the thing about Ian too, it's like Frank is calling him out, but everything that Frank is saying is true. So Ian is like, there's no merit for his freak out because like the jig is up.
Yeah, the
You know
jig
what I
is
mean?
the jig is basically up. He calls Ian out for not being on Boogie's side and voting Boogie out, and
She did.
yeah, exactly what she did, and then he brags about to us, but yet then in the house he's, you know, saying, "Oh, but I cried all that day," and
Right.
you know, you do try to play both sides.
Right, and which he's completely trying to play both sides. But okay, you put the check mark. I did vote him out, but I was a very hard decision. I cried. Well, you still voted him out, people.
Yeah, you
Hello.
still didn't pull for him.
Let's
yeah.
get it together.
And he also put Frank up too for eviction.
Yeah.
So
So let's just break that down.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's freaking out, but he's just, in my opinion, just putting a bigger target on his back. Because like I think
Yeah.
if the next one they would try to get him out, just because
Yeah,
he's so
Frank wants him
vocal,
out next.
you got to get him out.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, he made it so easy for the whole house to now rally against him and be like, okay, everyone, it's Ian's the easiest one to get going, which is, you know, great for Joe. By the way, Joe's still in the house, too. He kept it very low-key and quiet. Haven't
Yeah.
heard him yelling in the DR at all this week.
Which is amazing.
Amazing. Like, the closest he came to yelling in the DR was literally, like, Will's parody of him, which... Again, amazing. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out Will's parody of Joe. It's pretty freaking hilarious.
That's hysterical. You know, another thing that I thought was funny is, you know, when Britt does her whole, like, you know, losing it speech with them, trying to say,
yeah.
I will, you know, I'll side with you. Like, her last ditch effort.
Yes.
Didn't she seem a little drunk in that scene? She seemed a little boozy.
She could have been a little tipsy, but then again, the girl's so small. If she has like a beer or two, she might be pretty, you know.
It was so funny to me. I was just like, I'm like, she seems a little boozy here. Maybe
Yeah.
she's just, you know, exhausted or
Or when
something.
she was mocking Dan's funeral.
Right.
That was pretty funny.
That
when
was
she was
really
like,
funny.
you know, death before dishonor or death for you. You know, it was like her crazy faces were really freaking crazy.
Right.
Like, I thought it was pretty funny.
She plays crazy very well. I actually enjoy her.
Yes.
Another
plays
crazy is Shane, who all of a sudden thought that, you know, he's the deciding vote on who's going to, like,
Him and Joe.
yeah, he's like, I'm the deciding factor.
Well,
and like,
they are. They
but I mean,
actually, they were.
He really think, but I mean, someone else could vote too. Like, he just felt like he was the end all be all.
Well, if Joe pledged his allegiance to Shane, so now it's like the Joe and Shane alliance, which is great for Joe because Shane's obviously a really great physical competitor.
Right.
But they really had the choice. Like, they could have either kept Brittany or kept Danielle. I mean, that's their alliance, was those four.
Right.
You know, and Ian, I mean, it's like 3-on-3 and people on the outs now. But
It's just crazy. So then we finally get to the vote. And bye-bye, Brittany.
little Miss Bo Peep.
She's gone. She's out the
She
door.
looked adorable tonight, though,
She
in her
did.
pink
I
dress.
like the dress.
Yeah,
Right.
with her
You-
super blonde curls.
It's funny, you called out earlier. You said, well, it's obvious who's leaving because, you know, Danielle is like in her shorts and like
Yeah.
tube top, and Brittany is like in a full Little Bo Peep, where's my sheep, you know, outfit.
Absolutely, absolutely. You kind of, you have the sense of who's going, and if you're going, you kind of know. So,
Right.
Yeah,
You have to
she
sort of
didn't
make
have her
peace with it,
endurance
I
clothes.
guess, because by the time she, you know, if you're completely blindsided, then it's another thing. But I think it was pretty obvious where she was going. So
Yeah.
she handled it well. I mean, I was like, oh, how long before she starts crying? But,
Yeah,
you know,
well-
she seemed like, you know, she'd probably cry later because it is devastating when you actually leave. And then
Probably,
you get your, you know what I mean?
but at least this time, I mean, the first time she played the game, like season 12, she literally had no idea it was coming. Like, she was totally blindsided. At least this one, she knew. Like,
Right.
Ian kind of gave her the heads up. Like, she kind of knew she was out the door, so she didn't have her endurance clothes on under that outfit.
Yeah, she was ready.
She was ready.
She handled it well. She got, you know, they didn't show any, you know, all the housemates actually all said like good things about her. So, you know, that was sort of a good exit for her.
Yeah,
So,
pretty decent.
so then we move on to the live HOH, which was called Soaking Up the Sun.
Yes.
And apparently they had a live tweet where you could vote for either be the first person that falls down to get a prize or a punishment.
Yes.
And so
We voted.
we did vote. What
To
did you vote
punish.
for?
Punishment, of course.
Hello, I want to see punishment.
Duh, if you're losing,
Why are you
you're
rewarding the first one out? You gotta punish them.
Exactly.
So then describing the challenge, they're going around in circles on this giant contraption, and
Yes.
it doesn't look like they're landing on padding. I'm like, someone's gonna like kill themselves or hurt themselves. You know
It's
what I mean?
not soft at all.
When
You guys
Jen fell, she was like rolling out of the way.
Yeah. It's literally plywood with like a layer of astroturf.
Yeah,
There
so-
is no cushions there.
They're like booking it. It
Yeah.
looked really, really fun.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
reminded me again of the competition we had last year, our last HOH. We were on like an egg beater and we were like spinning in circles. And it's like all you do is you spin in circles and you get so dizzy and then you just fall onto hardwood.
I want to be the guy that comes up with these competitions because they're completely out of control.
Yeah,
Right.
I met a few of them.
Yeah.
They're fun.
What's so funny that I always say this about Big Brother, they have amazing challenges because they're so like A, they're hard to do, but B, they're always ridiculous. And you know
Yeah.
me, I'm always the ridiculous one. I like the shenanigans. I like the
Absolutely.
chumming. It's like because it's just so funny. That's just funny to me.
Oh, I love it. I think we talked about it before, right? About doing like a reality wipeout.
Exactly.
That would be the show.
Exactly.
I would do that
I love
100%.
Right. I love those kind of things. They're just funny. It's like, do you ever watch Double Dare as a kid? Those
That
weird...
is Big Brother.
That's
in a
exactly what it
nutshell.
is, basically, right?
It's
You're
like
getting
summer
slimed.
camp. Yeah, adult summer camp, like Double Dare style.
It's crazy. So the first person to fall off was Joe.
Yes.
They didn't show what he was
They
going
didn't.
to
I'm
be
gonna have to
punished
tune
with.
in the live feeds.
We'll have to tune in and get
Or
back
someone
to that.
wants to call us and tell us because they're watching the live feeds.
Yeah, you can let us know. So that was sort of the tea with that, and then Jen fell off, and then we're off to next week.
Yep.
All right. So why don't we go ahead and get into predictions?
Predictions.
Yeah.
No callers.
Your AfterBuzz TV
All right. So
And now, your
predictions.
AfterBuzz
What are we thinking?
TV.
Whew, well, this is an HOH that is really I'm either gonna say it's gonna be a Danielle or a Shane, but I wanna say Dan's gonna pull it out. He's just gonna he's a small guy, he can hang on there pretty long. I'm gonna go for Dan. Pull it out for himself, go from the block to the penthouse.
Oh, there you go. What do you think? What is going to happen next week?
I think Dan is a good choice for that competition. I mean, he's a small guy, can hang on probably. I don't know.
Him and Ian
Ian
are pretty
maybe.
small,
Right.
like they both have a good shot of hanging in there. It's a lot of upper body strength, and
Right.
then just being like a small, low, like center of gravity helps.
Right.
If
First-
Dan does win, I'm curious to see if he will put Frank up or if he'll like honor his word with Frank or like,
I think he's ride or die.
yeah.
I think.
Ride
think
or
so.
die?
With Frank.
With
For
Frank.
right now.
What,
Like,
what does
the
that
end.
mean?
To the end.
Oh, like to the end.
Oh, okay. I don't speak Porsche.
It's Ebonics. Get with it.
No. Well, this
Oh, wait,
is,
your prediction.
my prediction is I think. Well, I always think girls always do better at these challenges. So I think Danielle, because she
Yeah.
won the walk the plank one, and she
Yes.
was really good at that. So I think Danielle's going to pull it off. But as far, I don't really know who's going to go. It's the hard thing about Big Brother. You never know who's going to go. But I think if the cards are lined up right, I think they're going to try to get Ian out.
All right, let's tune into live feeds.
Turn into live feeds.
We're going to go
everybody.
check it out right now.
Portia, where can everyone find you on Twitter?
You guys can find me at Porsche L. Briggs, and make sure you're seeing me in Winnipeg next week if you're out there in Canada.
Oh, Canada. Rob, where can they find you on Twitter?
Be at _Rob Lucero.
_Rob Lucero.
Yeah.
And you can find me at Ryan A. Carrillo on Twitter. Love hearing from you. Love new followers. And thanks for tuning in, guys. And thanks for making our show #1.
Thank you,
Again,
guys.
5 stars, comments. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.